let's raise the question du jour, which is everyone's suddenly going, as you mentioned, everyone said, you know what? Medicare, Medicaid came out and said, we're going to encourage telehealth. We're going to let people do basically treat patients using telehealth. Yesterday's news was Amazon's going big into telehealth. If you follow your stock market, all of your telehealth sort of stocks just went through the roof. The question I have is for both of you. One of the big things that came out of that is we're now in a world where we have decentralized studies, and decentralized studies is the next big thing. It's the hottest thing, and everyone's talking about how the world has changed and everything we did prior to March 2020 is almost out of date, and we're going towards a pure decentralized study process. My question for you is that true? Kelly, ladies.
I think there are going to be changes in how we do trials, long-term changes. I think I've been in this long enough to have known over the past 35, 37 years now that we always thought at some point we were going to go totally remote, totally paperless. And, I honestly thought it wouldn't happen before I retire. But after 30 some years, it kind of happened like that. And, with e-consenting, telehealth, digital health, we got to look at now the access for the patients.
Yeah.
It might actually make it so patients have easier access. We might have more trials opening at sites. It actually could be a very economically good benefit for sites if they're able to open studies that they can open with telehealth and not have to think about, okay, how are we going to do this if the patient has to be here every afternoon at 5 o'clock? Because if I can sit at my desk and do what I need to do for the study, I'm more apt to go on the study than to turn it down. I think it'll help accrual. And I think it's going to be a compliance nightmare for compliance officers for a while because everything's going to be changing.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, so I agree with Kelly that the COVID pandemic forced the adoption of technology that many had been just considering or a little bit lukewarm on. Virtual consenting or remote consenting, virtual visits, including telehealth, things like that was being talked about, but there weren't that many opportunities via studies from sponsors in order to actually implement it, or sites that were really willing to take that plunge in there. There was a small number, and this accelerated, shifted the curve, and it really forced the issue, and people have jumped in and realized it can work. The two aspects I think that'll really make a determination in terms of whether it's short-term or becomes more of a permanent is still to be felt is, one, will we get the next generation of protocols from sponsors? Will they have virtual visits baked in as the option instead of an option or a fallback? But will it be expected your 3-month, 6-month, 12-month, 18-month are all going to be virtual, and that's the only way to do it?